I move in tomorrow to college. I broke my pinky toe, but let me tell you, I break my toes all the time. I have never broken, well, I guess I bruised my ribs. But, like, I've never had a serious injury other than bruising my ribs that do not pertain to my feet. But I've had a lot that pertain to my feet. Sunday. It's Tuesday? Yeah, because I'm moving tomorrow. Sunday, I get up in the morning. My cousin's staying here. She's actually, like, on the hide-a-bed under this couch. I get up. I'm, like, going to the laundry room for something. And I smash my... I'm, like, fast walking speed. I'm going along, you know, fast walking speed. Smash my foot into a little teeny tiny... I don't know why we have such a small chair over there. This is the evil chair. Why do we have such a small chair anyway? So I, like, slammed it right there. Oh, it hurts so bad. I don't want to think about it. And I was just walking along, you know, and I just full-on fast walk, slammed my foot into the chair, and I was like, it was a crack noise. Like, I heard it, and I was like, oh, jeez. Like, not again. And then it, like, is super swollen, and I'll insert a picture. I took a picture last night of it. I'll insert it here. It has, like, these 4 little marks, and actually, funnily enough, you can see the mark of, like, where, I'll tell you later, I have scars I have bruised scars on my foot when I broke my toe another time, or I actually broke my foot that time. Anyway, today I was thinking, you know what, I feel like I need to, like, rant about how many times I've broken my toes. So, story time of some of the times that I've broken my toe. So the first time I ever broke my toe, I broke my second toe on my left foot. And I was in 5th grade. We had just had a big storm the day before, and my next door neighbors had a flagpole in their yard, and the flagpole had fallen down in the storm. Like, it was a pretty bad storm. And so I was at their house, like, hanging out with my friends, like, oh yeah. And my brother came over, and he was like, hey, Becky, we gotta go. Like, we're going to our family friend's house. And so, okay, I was like, fine, whatever. And he was like, come on, we, like, gotta go. We're, like, late. And so he was like, don't even put on your shoes, just come on. So I had my flip-flops in my hand, and I was running, and I slammed. So there was, like, a flagpole stump, like, with metal shards. It was, like, a whole stump. And I was like, this is their house, our house. I ran across and, like, nailed my toe on it. And it cut all down my toe. And so it was all around this part of my foot. And I was like, it hurts really bad. And I was sitting in my doorway, like, crying. And my mom brought me, like, a whole wad of napkins. And she was like, we're going to have to go to the medical center for this. You're going to have to get stitches on this. And I was like, oh, great. And I had ended up, so we drove to the medical center. And I'm, like, in a ton of pain, just like, ugh. So we get to the medical center. We get out of the car, like, we go in, and they, like, have us sit there and wait, and then they look at it, and they're like, you're gonna need to get stitches. My mom is lying across my body, and I'm like, I need something else to distract me. And so I had my little iPod Nano, like the ones with the screens, and I kid you not, I watched Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide while I was getting stitches. I was just in there, like, trying to ignore it. Yeah, and so then after they finished stitching me up, and they brought me down to the room where I would get x-rayed, and they x-rayed my foot, and they were like, yeah, you shattered the end of your toe. And so then I had to wear one of the medical boots like you saw at the beginning of the video, but it was smaller because I was in 5th grade. And yeah, I wore that for a while, and I had to get 7 stitches and a few internal ones because it was really bad. My brother just got home. Calvin, do you want to come talk about when I broke my toe in 5th grade and tell your side of the story?
Do I need to?
I'd prefer it, because do you remember that?
No, you've broken your toe so many times.
No, when I had to get stitches when we were going to go to the baker's.
Oh, yeah.
Here, come sit next to me.
What is this? Is this a YouTube video?
Yeah.
This couch is lopsided. Okay, so we were going to go to our friends' houses for the evening. It was nice outside. And so my mom sends me over to our neighbors to go and get Becky where she was. And so I go out there, I get her from the house. She starts walking back. She's walking back in bare feet. And the previous day we had like a big windstorm that knocked down our neighbor's flagpole. And so there was like a little stub in the ground where the flagpole used to be.
I have a great picture that's like a mimic of the stub.
And she was skipping on the way back, and she just landed right. Her foot landed right on that little metal stubble, and she cut it right open. And I knew right then that we weren't gonna go to our friend's house. That was the worst. Mm-hmm. And we had to take her to the emergency room, and I spent the next 2 hours sitting in the emergency room listening to Becky whine and cry and sitting there thinking that I didn't get to go and see my buddy Noah, and I wanted to go see Noah. I also didn't bring my Game Boy, which was very sad.
But you were stuck there.
Yep, without my Game Boy. Biggest mistake I ever made, not bringing my Game Boy there.
Bye. So next time that I broke my toe was actually fast forward to right before freshman year. I was with one of my best friends. Her name is Peyton Barbrick. Anyway, I'm at my friend Peyton's grandparents' cottage, and we're like having lots of fun. They have sea-doos. We were like riding around, and then we decided that we were gonna go tubing. And they have one of those tubes that's like a sit-down tube where like there's like a back part, and so there are two like people spots. And so me and Peyton were in the people spots, and my toe got caught under the little like, oh goodness, how do I explain this? The like actual like blow up part. Like there's a blow up part and there's like the flatter part. And my toe got caught under that, and then we hit a big wave and like it slammed up, and so I broke it. And like Peyton saw it swelling up, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Becky, like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine, it's fine." I knew it was broken. I just wanted to keep tubing, and so I was like, "It's fine, like we can keep going." I was like, "Don't tell your parents yet." So then we finished tubing, and I had broken my toe right before freshman year of high school. Like, oh, what toe was it? I think it was my second from the end toe. Fast forward to spring break freshman year, I was swimming with my cousin Allison in a pool, and she was like behind me, kind of. We were having like, oh my goodness, you need to come talk about the gunshot wound thing. Anyway, she was swimming behind me, and I was like swimming along, you know, and I kicked her knee, and it snapped my second to last toe. And oh my goodness, that hurt so bad. And it like swelled up, and let me tell you, none of my brothers or like my older cousins or nothing, they did not believe me at all. They were like, "Oh, it's a gunshot wound." They were like, "Oh, it's so dumb. Oh, it's a gunshot wound. You're not even hurt." Literally, the day we get back from spring break, it's like the Sunday morning after we had just gotten back. Me and my mom, we went to the medical center before church. They x-rayed my foot, and they were like, "Yeah, you have a chunk off your bone." And I had to quit tennis because of it. I didn't even want to. That was fine. I wasn't mad about that. Do you have anything to say for yourself about the gunshot wound jokes? That was horrible. There was literally like a chunk off my bone. Explain yourself. You jerk. You and Tyler might be like, "Oh, it's a gunshot wound."
So you hurt your foot again. And
you guys are so mean.
You were limping around everywhere, and Tyler and I kept making fun of you because we're like, "It's not that bad. It's not like you're like a gunshot victim or something." And then it was actually broken. That was the best.
Shame on you. So fast forward to junior year of high school. My high school is doing Fiddler on the Roof, and I'm playing Hoddle. If you know nothing about the story Fiddler on the Roof, know that Hoddle has a lot of dancing in that show. Like literally, part of the character thing is that her and her love interest like dance together, and like it's a whole thing. Very good show. I love it. And it was the week before performance week, and there is a scene in it where there's a pogrom. Definition of a pogrom. And a bunch of Russians come in and start destroying stuff. Like, it's my sister's wedding, and then, like, the Russians come in and start destroying stuff. So they're, like, flipping chairs, like, throwing tables. And I, like, was supposed to be, like, being like pushed around and stuff. And then, I kid you not, they flipped this super heavy table, and so say this is my foot, like my pinky toe and my like secondary toe, it slammed onto my foot. It was such a heavy table. Like I couldn't lift it on my own. It like slammed onto my foot and I like screamed, but then I'm like, I wasn't done with the scene yet, and I was like, Perchik, and like dived on the ground towards like my like love interest because he got knocked out. This was the week before performance week. It was the Wednesday before performance week. Oh. So the Wednesday before performance week, I hurt my foot really bad, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've never been in such like pain physically. And I would not let them bring me to the doctor. I was like, I am performing this show no matter what happens. So like, you guys can like do whatever, but I am not going to the doctor until the show's over because I don't want to have to wear a cast or like not be able to be Hodl. I was like, there's no way I'm backing out on this. And so I had our like physical trainer person at the school, like our nurse like type person, wrap it every single day with athletic tape and stuff. And after Fiddler, Fiddler was such a good time though. It was so painful, but I was on like 4 Advil all the time, and it was so worth it because I like, honestly, I say this right now, if I could go back or like do it again, but I would have to break my foot again, I would do it again 100%. Like I would want to do it so bad. Anyway, so the musical's done and finished. I go to the doctor and they're like, oh my goodness, you have a sprained ankle, a broken foot, and a bone contusion on your 4th metatarsal.
It slammed.
Well, at first they were like, they x-rayed it and they were like, we can't see it's broken right now, but like we're gonna send it to another guy because it like still might be. And then the other guy, so that was before spring break. I wore the medical boot that you saw earlier on spring break. And then right after spring break, they called us and they were like, yeah, that's broken. And so then I got this huge medical boot. I'm gonna get it in a sec. So then for 8 weeks, I had to wear this giant thing. And it has like air pumps on the sides. And like I had to strap myself in. Oh, memories. Is this even, this is upside down, isn't it? That's how you wear it. So it's a big medical boot on my little feet. And yeah, it took me a long time to get better from that. And I actually still have a bruise scar from it. I showed it earlier in the video. I have like 3 dots, like 3 purple dots like down my foot. And then I also like have like a weird green hue on the side. And apparently it's really hard to get bruise scar. Oh my gosh, that's really clear in this light. See, yeah, it's like 3 purple dots. And like, see how it's kind of green right there? That's my Fiddler on the Roof scar. Yeah, so that was the most recent time. Well, I also got like a cinder block dropped on my foot earlier this summer, but that was my little cousin, and that didn't actually break. It just like bruised really bad. Those are some of my painful breaking of bone stories. And the weird thing is people are like, oh, you broke a toe, but I am already clumsy. Literally, I kid you not, having a broken toe throws off your entire balance because you don't realize how important your toes are until one of them's broken or like you don't have one and you're like, I cannot like balance completely right, and like you put a lot of pressure on them that you don't even realize. And so yeah, it really inconveniences your life. And now I just broke my pinky toe again right before freshman year of college. Like I'm moving in tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.